Good evening. Welcome to yet another edition of Observations of an American Living in Germany. Well, the past 7 days, I was an American living in the UK. My wife and I took a little trip over there. We stayed in Canterbury, hence this lovely t-shirt. We got to see the cathedral over there. Um, I apologize for my raspy voice. I got a little bit of a cold, and my eye looks like Mike Tyson hit me. It's just allergies. I've been itching at it. I just came out from the gym and maybe I made it flare up a little bit, but I was obviously allergic to something in England because it started doing that Friday night. But I'm over the worst of it. It's kind of like, not to be too gross, but it's kind of like I don't know, kind of like snot in my eye, but it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just irritating. But nevertheless, I don't care much about that, neither do you. Anyway, we took we drove to the Channel Tunnel, the Eurotunnel, or the Channel, whatever you want to call it, in Calais, France. It was about a 6-hour trip. We made it pretty much less than that, but we stopped and got gas in Aachen. I believe I'm saying that correctly. It's on the border with the Netherlands. We stopped there and topped off our gas tank because we only can buy discounted fuel in Germany at Esso. When it doesn't, our debit card doesn't work outside of Germany to get the armed forces price. But nevertheless, we took the our car over there. It was very fascinating. It was you drive, it seems like forever when you get off the highway. You drive through, there's a lot of fences and barbed wire and walls and gates and cameras and everything else, but you still get through there pretty quickly in your car. You have to go up and show your ticket. I believe it was 130 euros over and 109 back, something like that. My wife made the reservation, but you show your ticket. They give you a thing that hangs on your rearview mirror. You drive, I guess they size you by the how big your vehicle is. Passenger cars, we have a small SUV, so we were with sedans and coupes and stuff like that. And then they had tractor trailers and buses and box trucks and campers and big SUVs going on a different lane. So you go through there, then you drive up and you wait in line to go through customs. You check out of France, you show them your passport, and I guess they have your license number registered or something, and then you drive about 50 feet and then you enter England, even though you're still on French soil. You go through British customs. And we have US passports, so everything was pretty easy. But apparently they have a huge problem with illegal migrants trying to sneak from France into the UK. I don't know why. I guess maybe the economy's better in the UK. I don't know. But nevertheless, France looked like a beautiful place to me. Just can't understand the people. Anyway, so you go through this long security thing and then you wait in a long queue behind maybe 50 or 60 other cars. It's rather well organized how they have it all set up. I was pretty impressed. When we crossed when we went from France into England at the customs booths, and they're only like 50 feet apart, the guy in English said, "Can you open your boot?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "Open your boot." Oh, the trunk. Okay, so I popped the hatch open electrically, and then he just looked, making sure we weren't smuggling anybody. They didn't search our luggage or anything. He just took a look inside our car and pushed a button and the hatch shut. So you drive down this long ramp, and they have imagine like an Amtrak train or a long passenger train, kind of cylinder-shaped cars, like almost like look like a passenger train, but empty inside. And they have a barn door on the last car. And you drive through there one by one. You drive onto the train and you drive through several cars. We went through 6 or 7 cars, I believe, train cars. You get up to the top and they stop you, and they have a conductor in there, and he gets you like where you're 2 or 3 inches from the car in front of you. Then they tell you to put on your parking brake, and you put on your parking brake and you shut off your engine. They want your windows halfway down, and you just sit there. And it takes them another 15 or 20 minutes to get everybody loaded on. And so your cars are one behind the other. And each railroad car holds about 5 automobiles, 4 or 5, maybe 6 automobiles tops. It's not that many that can fit on one, but they have to judge them by size we were originally in the car. They had to get the people behind us to back up because the door couldn't shut. Our car was about a foot too long. So the lady apologized for misjudging, which is no big deal. We backed up, and we have a camera so you can see the car behind you, but they're pretty good about getting everybody sized up right. So then they shut the door. You can get out of your car if you want, but there's really nowhere to go. You got about 2 feet of room on the side of either door before you're at the wall of the car. So then you hear the things start moving, and they get going, and in about 3 or 4 minutes, the daylight that you see outside disappears into darkness. And they have two tubes that have railroad cars in them. You don't drive through it like you do a regular tunnel. You get your car on the train, and they have bigger trains that hold tractor trailers. So you go, and the journey, the top speed is about 95, 99 miles an hour, something like that. And once you get moving, it only takes, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes before you see daylight through the windows on the side. They have one tube that goes north, one tube that goes south, and there's a tube in the center that's for service, ventilation, emergencies, and maintenance and things like that. And they have air ventilation shafts periodically throughout the whole line of the train, because the train going through the tunnel acts like a piston. And I guess it creates resistance and it creates heat. So they have these ventilation shafts. Obviously, they don't use a diesel engine. They use electric locomotives. So, you wouldn't want the smoke coming back on you. But I didn't smell any odors or anything. It wasn't hot. It was a normal temperature day. It was very, very comfortable. You feel a little bit of bumping around because you're on a train, but, it's not any different than a normal passenger train. And they carry freight and people on the trains. And they have train cars in England that are built in Europe. And instead of having to send them on a ferry, they just hook them to the back of one of the trains going through the Channel Tunnel, and bam. And then when you come out on the other side, you've already gone through customs. So when you get on the English side over in Dover, I think the town is called Folkestone, but I just call it Dover because it's closest to Dover on the map. You get over on the other side and you start to see the daylight. You come out in the UK, and then they stop and they give you a warning, and I think they speak German, French, and English, and they tell you when you get out, make sure to drive on the left. So the barn door opens up on the left side of the train car in the front, and now everybody drives out first in, first out. So then you gradually, it's like passengers unloading from an airplane. You drive out on the left, and you drive out onto a big cement dock that's exactly the same height as the train. So that you really don't even feel it. You just drive right off the train car onto the dock. It just makes a click, click, like when you, like a dock plate, like you're pulling a forklift over a dock plate. It's not that bad. But anyway, you drive up the ramp, and as soon as you get to the top, the road bends, and it puts you on an entrance ramp, and then you come straight out onto the motorway. And of course, you merge on from the left. So right away, you're like, oh, I have to drive on the left. So anyway, that's part one of the video. I didn't want to drag on too long, but you don't have to do anything when you get over to the other side. You're there. And they just have signs in English, French, and German, keep left. This is the UK. We drive on the left. I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'm going to make a second part to it.